When it comes to your retirement, do you want to have the same old plan everyone else has? Of course not. You're unique and have your own goals and dreams. Don't be treated just like a number. This is your retirement. So it's time to think differently. And you're in luck because you found the Retire Your Way podcast with Dave Lopez, founder and managing member of ILG Financial. At ILG Financial, you won't find generic run-of-the-mill plans containing the same old cookie-cutter solutions. Dave and the ILG Financial team focus on building one retirement at a time using their Think Differently philosophy. And that means your own comprehensive plan with customized solutions built to achieve just one goal, yours. So put on your Think Differently hats and get ready to take back control of your retirement today. And for all the tomorrows to come, ILG's Financial Retire Your Way podcast was created just for you, and it's starting right now.
Welcome to the Retire Your Way podcast with Chase Lopez, ILG Financial. Dave Lopez, most of the time, is on the show. Today we have Chase with us. And Chase, I hope you're doing well. It's great to be back with you.
Hey, Ron. Great to be back with you as well and able to connect with the listeners today.
Yep. This is Ron Stutz, and I am a very lucky guy because I get a chance to talk with Chase and Dave on a regular basis. And the Retire Your Way podcast is on the air. By the way, if you would like to have a conversation about your financial situation, all you got to do is call 540-720-5656, 540-720-5656, and you can make it happen. And we are excited to be back here to dispense a lot of good information. Chase, we talk a lot in this podcast about ways your financial landscape changes when you transfer from what ILG often refers to as the accumulation phase to the distribution phase. Basically, when you leave the working world with your scheduled paychecks and then enter into retirement where you're distributing your savings and such to replace that paycheck and pay all your expenses. Now, one thing that we know changes in retirement, or at least at a certain age, is the ability to access Social Security. Chase is here today to share some ways in which our Social Security statements can help boost our retirement benefits in the future. Chase, take it away, buddy. Tell us all about that.
Well, hey, thank you, Ron, for that generous intro that you gave me. Yes, we're always looking for ways to communicate to folks the not so talked about ways that to avoid money and retirement benefits slipping through the cracks. Whether you know it or not, your Social Security statements were recently redesigned, and they now include some key information that can help you boost your retirement benefits. But something I want to make clear to all the listeners is that this planning is something that all ages, 18 and up, should take advantage of. So if you're not in the position where you're ready for retirement or you are not near that quote-unquote Social Security age yet, this information is still for you. And the better you plan now, the more benefits you may receive in retirement. So let's dig right in.
So if you're young and you're listening to this, don't tune out because it's very important for you as well. For
absolutely,
all ages, really.
Absolutely. So the Social Security Administration put a redesigned layout into place in an effort to make it easier to find information at a glance and simplify what may seem like a very complex program. Mm-hmm. Your statements are now accompanied by fact sheets that are actually tailored to specific age cohorts. So if you're a little bit older, those fact sheets are going to be specifically tailored to you. The Social Security Agency also recommends that workers of all ages check their statements annually for accuracy. These records also hold important clues for how to get the most out of your benefits. But please keep in mind, though, there is information that is not included in your statements as it pertains to retirement benefits that could be very important to your plan, which is why it is very important to make sure you get with a team like us over here at ILG to ensure you have covered all your bases and have maximized every benefit that you're owed.
Well, you know, we finished up 2021 and at the beginning of a brand new year here, and a good time to get all these things together, to get your act together as far as Social Security is concerned. In other words, Chase, you mentioned that these statements from Social Security are redesigned. What kind of differences do we see? You mentioned a fact sheet. Can you elaborate a little bit more so we know what to look for?
Yeah, so the redesigned statements now have a pretty cool blue bar graph that includes benefit estimates when claiming at 9 different ages. Now, beforehand, the Social Security statement used to just show your benefit at 62, full retirement age and age 70. Now it includes every age for those 9 different ages. So it can give you a better idea as to what your benefit would be at each age. So if you claim at age 62, which is the first age that you can actually claim Social Security, you take permanently reduced benefits. And this is a good example of why it is important for workers of all ages to pay attention and to plan appropriately. Everyone has different timelines, goals, situations, so planning in advance is imperative to your individual retirement and quality of life in that distribution phase that you were talking about. One other thing to mention about Social Security benefits is the amount of your benefit checks as far as an increase for each year. Every year that you wait up until age 70, that benefit amount increases. Now, the conversation that we have with our clients is after age 70, that benefit actually does not grow anymore. So there's really no benefit to waiting any age past 70. 70 is really the last age where you want to wait to turn on Social Security.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, it can really mean a difference of thousands and thousands of dollars if you end up taking your Social Security at the wrong time. So what information as far as benefit estimates is this new chart showing us that we ought to be paying attention to?
Great question, Ron. So the bar graph on that first page of this new redesigned Social Security statement is going to show you your projected monthly retirement benefit amount from ages 62 to age 70. And the unique part about this new statement is that it's going to show you each year what your benefit would be, or their estimate of what your benefit would be. So it'll show you at age 62, 63, all the way up to age 70. This gives you that future projection that is helpful when planning for your retirement. At a glance, you may be able to tell if it would help you accomplish your goals, or if you want to wait to claim, or it may help you realize that in order to accomplish your goals, you'll need to start claiming right away.
And as you mentioned before, Chase, the information provided is going to mean different things to different people.
Correct. So just having an at-a-glance view is not enough to make an educated decision as far as your plan for retirement. So make sure you give us a call at the office so we can work through this data and how it affects you and your family specifically.
Okay.
Another new aspect of the state of your Social Security statements is what they call an earnings report. So in the statement, there's a table of all of your earnings history going back to whenever you first started working. I know for me, it was the lifeguarding job at 16 years old, but for everyone, it's a little bit different. But it will show you each year how much you earned and how much was paid into Social Security. So it's very important to look at this earnings table to make sure that there are no errors or there's no missed earnings on there, because that may be missed money in your benefit down the line.
Exactly.
The way that Social Security calculates your average monthly earnings is based on your 35 highest earning years. But like anything, like I said before, errors can happen. So we want to make sure that we're checking this earnings history table every year at the end of the year.
Yeah, and if you don't look at this and if you don't make sure that it's correct, you could be missing out on a whole lot of money here. We're talking about Social Security and all the implications of when you take Social Security, at what age, and all that sort of thing. You're listening to the Retire Your Way podcast with Chase Lopez. Once again, the phone number at ILG Financial is 540-720-5656. Now, Chase, I would assume these history reports you're talking about are also helpful in planning a certain job moves or future plans for your family.
Ron, you're absolutely right. These full earnings histories can help tell you how much of your benefits may be adjusted if you worked in jobs where you earned a pension and you didn't necessarily pay Social Security taxes. A great example of this is a concept called the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. And these both would affect your benefit down the line. So it's very important to look at those full earnings history. And if you did work at a job where you weren't necessarily paying Social Security because of these other provisions, it's very important that you're able to look at that earnings history and make sure that all of the money that you've paid into the Social Security system is accounted for. So in addition to your own retirement benefit eligibility, your Social Security statement also provides estimate as to what your monthly income would be if you claimed disability benefits. There are also estimates for how much monthly income through survivor benefits your eligible spouse may receive if you were to pass away. And that's really a critical part of our planning process here at ILG when we're talking about planning for folks in retirement. Really, that survivor income and these survivor benefits that Social Security offers is something that, it's a topic that a lot of folks don't like to talk about, but it's definitely something that we have to talk about, because when that situation does come up and something happens to a spouse, we don't want to be scrambling then as to what we want to do for our plan. So let's look at one more piece of information when it comes to your Social Security statement, and that's your Medicare eligibility. Your Social Security statement will let you know whether you have enough earned credits to qualify for Medicare at age 65. And something a lot of people aren't aware of is that even if you do not retire at age 65, when it comes to Medicare, you may need to sign up within 3 months of that 65th birthday in order to avoid the lifetime late penalty.
That makes a lot of sense. And that's a very important thing to do. When I'm just reminded in this conversation here today about Social Security and Medicare that it's important to cross all your T's and dot all your I's and make sure you have all this stuff arranged in advance so that you're not surprised at the last moment, as you said a moment ago, and having to make some quick decisions and having some kind of a wait period.
Exactly. Really, step one is just getting all the information, right? Really, when we're building out these plans for our clients, we really try to impress upon them that when we're talking about Social Security and we're talking about these different benefits, really it's all about the data. So we want to look at the information, look at your specific situation, look at your specific goals, and then we're able to craft the plan in a way to where, hey, we're going to achieve all of these goals that you listed, and we're going to do it in the most efficient way as possible. Mm-hmm. And what matters most is taking action and not waiting. So to that end, as we've said multiple times here on the podcast, if you call the office, we'll be happy to begin building out the plan and just having a conversation as to where you're at and where your goals and where you want your retirement to go.
Well, this has all been certainly valuable information. I know I'm going to be checking out my Social Security statements a little more closely and looking at all of those new reports and summaries that they're providing. But it seems like the real point here is that even though it's wonderful to have this information at hand and we can see some projections of our future at a glance, that doesn't mean we're fully taking advantage of benefits that may be available to us or that we plan correctly based on what we want to do in retirement.
You hit it right on the head, Ron. Really, it is about just getting all of the information together and building out a plan that's individually crafted to each of our clients, and that's what we do every day.
Once again, if you'd like to get in touch with ILG Financial, you can call this number, 540-720-5656. That's 540-720-5656, and talk with Chase or Dave, and then you'll be on your way. You have taken the very first all-important step. Chase, let me just say it's been a pleasure being with you today. You've passed along some very important information, and I'll look forward to talking to you again next time.
Hey, Ron, thanks again. It's really a pleasure getting on with you, talking about all of these important topics so our clients can have some more information. And to tack on to that, try to stay warm this weekend. I know we were talking before the call about the impending snowstorm, so try to stay warm, and we'll talk soon. Yeah,
this weather is really something else, I'm telling you. I'm not used to the cold like this, and, we all got to make allowances for it. Just sort of like preparing for your Social Security and your Medicare.
There you go. There you go.
You've been listening to the Retire Your Way podcast with Chase Lopez, and remember, it's ILG Financial. The information provided is for educational purposes only and is not intended as investment advice for any individual or entity. All information contained herein is believed to be from reliable sources. However, we make no representation as to its completeness or accuracy. The views presented today are those of Dave Lopez and do not necessarily represent the views of the Alpha Star Capital Management, LLC. The opinions expressed are subject to change without notice and do not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice. Please consult your financial professional before executing any financial strategy. Investment advisory services offered through Alpha Star Capital Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Alpha Star and ILG Financial, LLC are independent entities. SEC registration does not constitute an endorsement of the firm by the Commission, nor does it indicate that the advisor has attained a particular level of skill or ability.